Good morning, students. Welcome to online classes, Sri Chaitanya PU College. Yesterday, we are discussing about total internal reflection, and also we solved some problems. Today, I will start the refraction at spherical surface. Before going to start the refraction at spherical surface, one more problem on total internal reflection. Let us consider there is a glass slab. ABCD is the glass slab. ABCD is the glass slab. AB is the upper surface. CD is the bottom surface of the glass slab. The light ray is traveling from air medium to the glass slab. The glass slab refractive index, that is N. So refractive index of air, N1, refractive index of glass, N2. This is the normal. The light ray incidence on the surface AC with an angle of incidence I1. Near the surface AB, the total internal reflection should take place. Then what is the relation between the angle of incidence and refractive index? What is the problem? A glass slab, ABCD, the light ray incidence on the surface AC, total internal reflection should take place near the surface AB, upper surface AB. Then what is the relation between the angle of incidence and the refractive index N? Refractive index N. Now, near the surface AC, the light ray is traveling from where to where? Air to glass, rarer medium to denser medium. It will bend towards the normal and falls here. And here, this is the normal. Near the surface AB, the total internal reflection should take place. The light ray should not emerge from the surface AB. Total internal reflection should take place. If the total internal reflection should take place, then what must be the angle here? The angle here must be C. Must be C. Then what must be the angle here? The angle here must be 90 minus C. 90 minus C. Now apply the Snell's second law for the surface AC. What is the refractive index of air? N1. Angle in that medium, I. Refractive index of the glass, N2. Angle in that medium, 90 minus C. If we solve that one, we are going to get the relation between the refractive index and the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. So applying Snell's law, N1 sin theta 1 is equal to N2 sin theta 2, where I am applying near the surface. AC, we are applying the Snell's second law. So N1, what is the angle in that medium? I. So N1 into sin I is equal to N2 into angle in that medium. Angle in this medium after refraction, 90 minus C. Sin 90 minus C. So N1 into sin I is equal to N2 into cos C. Sin 90 minus C, cos C. So N1 into sin I is equal to N2 cos C can be written as square root of 1 minus sin square C. Because we know the trigonometric equation sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. From that equation, I calculated cos C, square root of 1 minus sin square C. This comes out to be sin I is equal to sin I n2 by n1 into square root of 1 minus n is equal to 1 by sin c according to the definition. Sin c is equal to 1 by n. Substitute here 1 by n square. 1 by n square. So sin I is equal to n2 by n1. n2 by n1 is equal to n square root of n square minus 1 by n after taking LCM. After taking LCM, n gets cancels. Sin I is equal to square root of n square minus 1. This is the relation between the angle of incidence sin I is equal to square root of n square minus 1, where I is the angle of incidence, n is the refractive index of denser with respect to rarer. With respect to rarer, squaring on both sides, sin square I is equal to n square plus 1. N square is equal to n square minus 1 minus 1. Squaring on both sides, sin square I is equal to n square minus 1. N square is equal to 1 plus sin square I. N is equal to square root of 1 plus sin square I. So I value will be given. You are asked to calculate n value. N value will be given. You are asked to calculate I value. One of the important problem in case of TIR, total internal reflection, should take place near the surface AB. Near the surface AB. In the another problem, they may ask you to calculate, that is near the surface BD, the total internal reflection takes place. Or near the surface CD, the total internal reflection takes place. Here total internal reflection, here total internal reflection, at this point total internal reflection. A lengthy problem. So once go through this problem, there is a glass slab. ABCD is the glass slab, surrounded by A column, refractive index of A, N1, refractive index of glass, N2. This is the normal. Incident ray, angle of incidence is I. Light ray is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, bends towards the normal, strike the surface AB, and it is given that near AB, TIR should take place. TIR, there is no refracted ray, only reflected ray. So the light ray reflected back into the denser medium. Here the angle must be C or greater than C. At least slightly greater than C. If this is C, then this angle must be 90 minus C. Apply Snell's law. N1 sin theta 1 is equal to N2 sin theta 2. Then finally we are going to get sin I is equal to square root of n square minus 1, relation between angle of incidence and the refractive index of the medium. We can write the same expression as n is equal to square root of 1 plus sin square I. Here itself a problem. I value is given as 60. This I value is given as 60. Find the refractive index. They will ask in the exam. They may take I value 60, I value 45, I value 30. So if I value is equal to 60, already I derived the formula. N is equal to, what is the formula? Square root of 1 plus sin square I. So n is equal to square root of 1 plus sin square 60. Sin 60 value root 3 by 2. Sin square 60 value 3 by 4. So n is equal to square root of 1 plus 3 by 4. This comes out to be n is equal to root 7 by 4. LCM. This comes out to be root 7 by 2. This is the answer for the refractive index. N is equal to root 7 by 2. If I value is given as 60, if I value is 45, imagine, let me change. Sine square 45. 1 by root 2 whole square. 1 by root 2 whole square becomes 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2, 3 by 2. Whatever may be the angle, easily we can calculate by using this formula. So this is a problem on TIR, total internal reflection. Now let us go to the refraction at the spherical surface. Up to now, we have completed the refraction at plane surface. Plane surface. Now we are going to discuss about the refraction at curved surface or spherical surface. The most important thing, because we have already completed mirrors, spherical mirrors, concave mirror, convex mirror, rules for the formation of image, sign convection, all those things are used here also. Refraction at the spherical surface. The most important thing, the laws of refraction. The laws of refraction is applicable both for the plane surface and also for the spherical surface. We can apply the laws of refraction, the first law and second law, not only for the plane surface, they are applicable for the spherical surfaces also. The first law, the incident ray, the normal and refracted ray are present in the same plane, applicable for the spherical surface also. Second law, n into sine theta is equal to constant, applicable for the plane surface, applicable for the spherical surface also. n1 sine theta 1 is equal to n2 sine theta 2. Therefore, we can apply the laws of refraction not only at the plane surface, but they are applicable for the spherical surfaces also. The spherical surfaces are of two types. One is concave spherical surface. The other one, convex spherical surface. This is concave spherical surface. Concave spherical surface. This is the convex part towards the rarer medium. This is rarer medium, refractive index n1. This is denser medium, refractive index n2. Refractive index n2. As usual, this is the pole of the spherical surface. Pole of the spherical surface. Spherical, it is a part of a sphere. Here, center of curvature will be there. C is the center of curvature. The straight line joining the pole and the center of curvature is the principal axis. Before going to derivation part, knowing about the spherical surface. This is convex spherical surface. Convex, this is convex spherical surface. The convex spherical surface is towards the rarer medium. Refractive index N1. This is denser medium. N2. P is the pole. C is the center of curvature. Center of curvature. The line joining the pole and center of curvature is the principal axis. Principal axis. The object may be present in rarer medium. Image will be in the denser medium. If the object is present in the denser medium, image will be present in the rarer medium. Two cases. Convex spherical surface. This convex spherical surface towards the rarer medium. Concave spherical surface. Concave spherical surface. Concave surface. This is concave towards the rarer medium. Towards the rarer medium. This is rarer medium. Refractive index N1. This is denser medium. Refractive index N2. Pole of the spherical surface P. Center of curvature will be this side. If the spherical surface is assumed to be a part of a sphere, center will be towards this side. Join the pole and the center of curvature. Then we will get the principal axis. Principal axis. Therefore, two kinds of the spherical surfaces. Two kinds of the spherical surfaces. The first one, convex spherical surface. The second one, concave spherical surface. If the convex surface towards the rarer medium, convex spherical surface, concave surface towards the rarer medium, concave spherical surface. This is the rarer medium, refractive index N1, denser medium, refractive index N2. P is the pole of the spherical surface. C is the center of curvature. Line joining the pole and center of curvature is the principal axis. Is the principal axis. In this case also same. Convex spherical surface, rarer medium N1, refractive index, denser medium N2, refractive index. P is the pole of the spherical surface. If this is a part of a sphere, center will be this side. This is center of curvature. Line joining the pole and center of curvature. Principal axis. Principal axis. So in this one also, two cases. The first one, object in a rarer medium. Then image will be in a denser medium. Case 1. Case 2. Object in a denser medium. Image will be formed in a rarer medium. Case 2. Similarly here also. Object in rarer medium. Image will be formed in a denser medium. Object present in denser medium. Image will be formed in a rarer medium. But we will derive only one case and it is applicable for all the four cases. Just extension. We will derive only this case. Object in rarer, image in denser. We will derive a formula and it is applicable for all the four cases. And also two more definitions. Object space and image space. Image space, object space. The reason in which the object is present is called object space. The region in which the image will be formed is called image space. Image space. Therefore, the laws of refraction not only applicable for the plane surface, applicable for the spherical surfaces also. Convex spherical surface, concave spherical surface, pole center of curvature, principal axis, rarer medium, denser medium. In this case, pole center of curvature, principal axis, rarer medium, refractive index n1, denser medium, refractive index n2, and also in the derivation for the refraction at spherical surface, we have to follow the sign convections already discussed in the case of mirrors, spherical mirrors. The first one, all the distances must be measured from the pole of the spherical surface. Second one, the distances which are measured in the direction of light ray are taken as positive. Third one, the distances which are measured opposite to the direction of incident light ray are taken as negative. The fourth one, the heights which are measured above the principal axis are taken as positive. Last, fifth point, the heights which are measured below the principal axis are taken as negative. Sign convection. First point, all the distances are measured from the pole of the spherical surface. Second one, distances measured in the direction of light ray are taken as positive. Third, the distances which are measured opposite to the direction of light ray are taken as negative. The fourth one, the heights which are measured above the principal axis are taken as positive. Heights measured above the principal axis are taken as positive. Last one, the heights measured below the principal axis are taken as negative. Now we are going for the derivation part in the case of refraction at the spherical surface. Refraction at spherical surface. We are taking convex spherical surface. Convex spherical surface. We are deriving an expression which gives us relation between n1, n, u, v and r. Important for board exam, essay question. Relation between n2, refractive index of denser, n1, refractive index of rarer, u, object distance, v, image distance, r, radius of curvature of the spherical surface. Radius of curvature of the spherical surface. PUC board exam, important, long answer. First consider the convex spherical surface. Ray diagram. Convex spherical surface. P is the pole, C is the center of curvature. Draw the principal axis joining P and A. This is principal axis. This side, rarer medium, refractive index M1. This one, denser medium, refractive index N2. Refractive index N2. So here the object is that point object in denser medium, rarer medium, point object in rarer medium. We have to form the image for that object which is present in the rarer medium. What is the object distance? Object distance is u from the pole. Therefore, P to O, object distance, is equal to minus u, because opposite to the direction of light ray. Opposite. Draw the normal for the spherical surface. What is normal for the spherical surface? The line joining the center of curvature and any point on the spherical surface is the normal. This is the normal. How to draw normal for the spherical surface from the center of curvature to any point on the spherical surface gives the normal. So CA is the normal now. Normal. Incident ray from the object, the light ray incidence. From the object, the light ray incidence. What is the angle of incidence? I is the angle of incidence. Because the angle of incidence is measured with respect to normal. Which is the normal now? CA is the normal. CA is the normal. Which is the incident ray? OA is the incident ray. Incident ray. What is the angle of incidence? I is the angle of incidence. Now near the surface, spherical surface, the light ray is traveling from where to where? Rarer medium to denser medium. Laws of refraction. Whenever the light ray travels from rarer medium to denser medium, bends towards the normal. Bends towards the normal. Here the image will be formed in the denser medium. I is the image, O is the object. What is the angle of refraction? The angle of refraction is measured between what and what? Between the normal and the refracted ray. What is the refracted ray now? AI is the refracted ray. Angle of refraction. R is the angle of refraction. I is the image. O is the object. Object in rarer medium. Image in a denser medium. What is the image distance? All the distances are measured from the pole only. So P to I is the image distance, but it is in the direction of light ray. If it is in the direction of light ray, plus V. Therefore, Pi is the image distance. Image distance is equal to V plus V. PC is the radius of curvature. radius of curvature. It is also in the direction of light ray. So plus R, plus V, plus V. So what we did now? We considered a convex spherical surface, rarer medium, refractive index N1, denser medium, refractive index N2, pole of the spherical surface, center of curvature, line joining the pole and the center of curvature, principal axis, point object in rarer medium. First draw the normal. How to draw the normal in case of the spherical surface? Join the center of curvature to any point on the spherical surface. That becomes normal. Even PC is also normal. PC is also normal. So join the point C to any point on the spherical surface. That is normal. C to A is normal. OA, incident light ray. Angle of incidence I. Angle of incidence I. But near A, spherical surface, the light ray is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. If the light ray travels from rarer to denser, bends towards the normal, image will be formed near the point I. So OA, incident light ray, AI, refracted light ray, refracted. AC, normal. Angle of refraction is R. P to O, object distance, minus U. P to I, image distance, plus V. PC, radius of curvature. C is the center of curvature. So PC, radius of curvature, plus I. Now we will go for the derivation part. What we want? Relation between N2, N1, U, V and R. N2, refractive index of denser medium. N1, refractive index of rarer medium. U, object distance. V, image distance. R, radius of curvature. Let us consider near the object. It is making an angle alpha. Assumptions. Near the object, angle is alpha with the principal axis. Near the image with the principal axis, angle is beta. The center of curvature making an angle gamma with the principal axis. I am assuming three angles. One angle near the object, the second angle near the image, the third angle near the center of curvature. Near the object, the angle is alpha with the principal axis. Near the image, the angle is beta. Near the center of curvature, the angle is gamma. Three assumed angles. Now consider the triangle O, A and C. O, A and C. Interior angles alpha and gamma. Exterior angle I. Which triangle I am taking? OAC. So triangle OAC. OAC. Here O, here A, here C. Alpha and gamma, interior angles. I is the exterior angle. But we know from mathematics, the sum of the interior angles is equal to exterior angle. So alpha plus gamma is equal to I. So I is equal to gamma plus alpha. Equation number 1. Based on what? Based on the sum of the interior angles is equal to exterior angle. Now consider the triangle OACI. CAI. What are the interior angles? Beta and R. What is the exterior angle? Gamma. Which triangle I am taking? CAI. So triangle CAI. Once with respect to object, next with respect to image. CA is common. So interior angles beta and R. Exterior angle gamma. Sum of the interior angles is equal to exterior angle. Therefore, gamma is equal to beta plus R. I want R. Gamma minus beta. Equation 2. So I got the relation between I, alpha, beta, gamma and small r. Because in order to apply Snell's law, n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin r. Because in this case, light is traveling from the rarer medium to denser medium. We will apply the Snell's law. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. For that purpose, I calculated I calculated R. From the triangle OAC, I is equal to gamma plus alpha. From the triangle CAI, R is equal to gamma minus beta. Gamma minus beta. Now, applying the Snell's law. Applying the Snell's law. Drop a perpendicular line from the point A onto the principal axis. It will nearly coincide the point P. For small angles, M will coincide with P. For small angles, M will coincide with P. So I can write tan alpha, I can write tan beta, I can write tan gamma. M coincides with P for small angles. For small angles. Now, applying the Snell's law, we will get the final answer. Applying the Snell's second law. Now the light ray is traveling from where to where? The light ray is traveling from the rarer medium to denser medium. If the light ray is traveling from rarer to denser, what is the equation? The equation N1 sin I is equal to N2 into sin R. into sin R. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. When angles are very, very small, then if the angles are small, then what I can write? Sin I is equal to I itself. Sin R is equal to R itself. When we can take like that? When angles are small, sin I can be written as I, sin R can be written as R. So N1, I value from equation 1, gamma plus alpha. I value from equation 1. R value from equation 2. N2 gamma minus beta. Just we have applied the Snell's law. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. When angles are small, N1 into I is equal to N2 into R. I value from equation 1, gamma plus alpha. R value from equation 2, gamma minus beta. Expand. N1 gamma plus N1 alpha is equal to N2 gamma minus N2 beta. Get gamma values to one side, alpha and beta to the other side. Alpha and beta. This comes to this side. N2 beta plus N1 alpha. This goes to that side. N2 gamma minus N1 gamma. So N2 beta can be written as tan beta. Angles are small. If angles are small, beta can be written as tan beta. Already discussed. N1 alpha can be written as tan alpha. N2 minus N1 common. Gamma will be there. The gamma can be written as tan gamma. Tan gamma. So N2 tan beta plus N1 tan alpha is equal to N2 minus N1 into tan gamma. Now write down tan beta. Here beta. Opposite side by adjacent side. Opposite side by adjacent side. So N2 opposite side PA. M coincides with the P. PA. So PA divided by PI plus N1 tan alpha. Here opposite by adjacent. PA by PO. PA by PO is equal to N2 minus N1 PA by PC. PA by PC tan gamma. So PA gets cancelled. What is remaining? N2 by PI plus N1 by PO is equal to N2 minus N1 by PC. N2 minus N1 by PC. I know PI value. I know PO value. I know PC value. Substitute, we will get the answer. So N2 by V minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 by R. Final formula. Refraction at spherical surface. Because PO value minus U, PI value plus V, PC value plus R. Refraction at the spherical surface. N2 by V minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 by R. So this is the derivation for the refraction at the spherical surface, convex when the object is in the rarer medium and image is formed in the denser medium. Denser medium. Once go through. Here what I substituted, sin I, sin R, very small. I value gamma plus alpha. R value gamma minus beta. Expanded. Brought gamma to one side, alpha beta to the other side. Here small confusion. Beta can be written as tan beta when angles are small. Alpha can be written as tan alpha. Gamma can be written as tan gamma. From the diagram, write down tan beta, tan alpha, tan gamma. PA gets cancels. What is remaining? PI, PO, PC. PI, V, PO minus U, PC, R. Refraction at the convex spherical surface. When the object in rarer medium and image in the denser medium. Denser medium. Once go through this one. Have a good day. Thank you.